Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to the February monthly meeting of the LGBTQIA plus Commission. I'm going to do some roll call. Sorry, just pulling that up right now. Here we go. All right. And when I call your name, please say aye if you are here. Leonard Orbovich.
Here.
Catherine Calhoun.
Here.
Julian McLean. Julianne.
Sorry, my headphones must not have been working. I'm here.
Richard Persakian.
Here.
Wonderful. Shanti Porter. Sarah Rosso. Derek Tynes. Guillermo Velasquez. Kevin Carroll.
Here.
Barb Warwick. Donald Donovan. And Alexander Gray.
I'm here.
Wonderful. And that is us meeting quorum for this month's meeting. All right. So just going through the agenda real quick. Want to call myself out and say that I did not have time in the midst of travel and such to transcribe last month's meeting minutes. I will be more on top of that in the future. That is me taking accountability, and I'm more than happy to get both this meeting and January's meeting together for us to approve the minutes for the following meeting so that those can be posted online. So I just want to give everybody an update there. Lenny, is it all right if I hand it off to you to conduct elections? Would that be all right with you?
Oh, actually, I had a point of parliamentary procedure.
Oh, please.
So with those minutes, is there a way that they could be distributed to all the commissioners and kept up to date on the city website? I looked at the city website. It looks like it dropped off in 2023.
So yes, that is the point of the minutes. You are absolutely right, Alexander, on that one. We did approve some minutes a while ago. I thought I put an IIP request for that to be put on the website, so I can check on that. If that has not already happened, that's my bad. But usually it would be a situation where the minutes are completed following a meeting. All of you would get them several days in advance to be able to review them, and then we would vote to approve them, and they would be put on our website so that folks can see what we've been doing in the meetings.
Thank you.
Yeah, so more than happy to get more on top of that in the future. That's not a problem. Any other questions regarding minutes? I'm happy to take them. All right, moving forward. Oh, I shouldn't skip over. At this time, we have not had any public comment. For any commissioners that weren't aware of this, when anybody puts in like a question or volunteer form or anything like that into the website page, I get an email, and I haven't gotten any emails this month. So I will keep you updated if there's any public comment, but that is specifically how we garner public comment here. Next, we have election of officers and standing committees, I think specifically officers. So I was going to ask, Lenny, is it okay if I pass this off to you? I know that you were kind of designated as the election individual here.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. So technically all of our executive offices are up for re-election or new election. Adriana included the available offices in the agenda. We have 3 co-chairs, a secretary, a treasurer, and an outreach coordinator. If I'm not mistaken, we currently have 2 people serving as co-chairs. I believe Derek and Sarah hold those offices. They are up for re-election. they have not contacted me about nominating themselves. I will nominate both of them, but neither of them are here to accept. So I don't know how we proceed with that. But let's go in order, because of course we can nominate each other and ourselves. So are there any nominees for a co-chair position?
Can I just ask, you said there's 3 co-chair positions, so
Correct.
it could be 3 people that would be appointed.
That's correct. Okay, so hearing none, we'll move on to.
Well, I mean, can I second your nominations? Is that a thing as well, or can I just put in my bid, or is that a later thing that we'll vote?
Are you nominated? Are you standing for the position, Julian?
No, I am not. I am. I'm going to also nominate Derek and Sarah again, and then someone to put in my vote for those two. Also,
So
Can I chime in? I know I don't have a vote here. I just want to give a little context here. I will say that at least Sarah has expressed that while they are very happy to be on the commission, support the commission, they have a lot going on professionally, and it may be difficult for them to allocate a ton of time to being a co-chair. So I just want to say, just because they're not here, and that Sarah has expressed that to me on more than one occasion, that they care deeply about the commission, but would love to see somebody else kind of take a little more responsibility and be a co-chair and help kind of support that weight just in context of nomination. So I do not have a vote. I will silence now, but just wanted to express that.
thank you.
that was my understanding as well. I think Sarah is prepared to step down. I haven't talked or spoken with Derek about his office. Of course, he's not here to accept a nomination, were we to make one. So I'm not sure we can proceed with that anyway. I think we are restricted to only people who are present at the meeting to come on as like new candidates.
Okay, why not? I'll nominate myself as well.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, so Julian would like to stand as a co-chair. Is anyone else interested, or would like to nominate someone else?
Could
I'll
I
second.
could I nominate Cece if she's willing?
Yes, CC.
Oh,
Is
see,
the
thank
nomination
you,
to
Richard.
accept?
Richard, see, I was going to say I second Julian's nomination for himself. But if my fellow friend Julian is going to be on it, I would only do it because of him.
Okay.
So I will say yes to that as long as Julian, you're going to be in it. All right. Thank you.
Fantastic. So we have two people standing for 2 of the 3 offices or positions. Any other nominees? All right. Well, hearing none. Adriana, I think given our small numbers, if everyone's comfortable with a voice vote, we could proceed that way. Is that okay? All right. All in favor, we'll do Julian first, as he was nominated first. All in favor of Julian stepping up and coming on as one of our new co-chairs, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. Congratulations, Julian. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you please indicate your support for Cece by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. Congratulations, Cece. Thank you as well. We now have 2 new co-chairs.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Okay. What?
We now have we're going to move on to the vacant position of secretary. Any nominees for the secretary position? Hearing none, that position will remain vacant for the time being. Moving on to treasurer. Any nominees for the treasurer position? Hearing none, that position will also remain vacant for the time being.
Could I nominate someone?
Please.
Can I nominate, I don't know, Richard? Would you accept the position?
Good luck with that, buddy.
I-
Richard.
Thank you, Julian, but I am the worst note. Even though I am taking notes, I'm the worst person.
Okay.
But I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, well, moving on to outreach coordinator. Of course, we have a nominee, Alexander Gray, is interested in the position and has accepted the nomination. Are there any others? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of Alexander coming on to the executive team as the outreach coordinator, please indicate your support by saying aye.
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 Do I vote for myself? Can I do that? I don't
Yeah.
Come
know.
up there, buddy. Go ahead.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Congratulations, Alexander, and thank you very much for stepping up.
Thank you.
So that closes the election. Congratulations and thank you to our new members of the executive board.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lenny, and mirroring everything. Congratulations to our executive board, and I'm very excited to work with you all in the coming year to see what we can accomplish as a commission. So thank you all for stepping up and taking charge. And thank you, Lenny, for presiding over the elections. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you, Lenny.
For next up, it's been going under reports of special committees where, it's kind of like an ad hoc kind of situation because we're event planning. Alexander, with you being outreach coordinator, I'll definitely talk to you more about this one-on-one and lean on you a little bit, but I wanted to give everybody an update on the town hall, and basically kind of just some broad strokes as to what's going on. I met with Julian last week. We talked about True Tea and I did a tour of the space. So we are definitely holding it there. We are holding it on March 20th at 5 p.m. So I'm going to send that in an email as well. But if you can clear your calendars for March 20th at 5 p.m., that would be so wonderful. If you're not available, totally understandable. But if there's any way for you to make it work, I would really, really, really love to have you there. The basis of the town hall is going to
5
be
o'clock, Adriana. I'm sorry to interrupt.
5 o'clock p.m. Yeah. Yes. So the basis of the town hall, we've thrown out some ideas in prior meetings about what really should kind of be encompassed in this town hall. I tried to grab from a lot of those ideas and try to make an agenda to the best of my ability. So first and foremost, it's going to be an introduction to the commission, something like a panel. I'll probably have a PowerPoint to give some baseline as to why the commission exists, but also I really want to create space for commissioners themselves to talk about, their own experience, why they think it's important that they're on the commission, the impact they want to have on the community, stuff like that. So I would be like emceeing, but really I want commissioners to feel comfortable, taking charge and talking about the importance of the commission in their own way. I would also have, and let me say, this really came from meetings with other folks in very similar positions to mine all over the country that are doing work with other LGBTQIA commissions in other cities, that knowing your rights is a huge thing that has been coming up on a local kind of context, both for really any vulnerable groups right now. You see it a lot with immigrants and refugees, and it's also been coming up for LGBTQIA folks, especially as laws are consistently changing. It really made a lot of sense to me to talk about what rights LGBTQIA folks have on a local concept in Pittsburgh specifically. And so it made sense to me to intro the commission, and then especially, and I'm very happy Kevin's here today, to talk a little bit about how gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation are included in our non-discrimination laws. And if you are experiencing discrimination on the basis of, for instance, your gender identity in housing, in employment, in city services, you can go to the Commission on Human Relations and file with them and seek resolution. And a lot of people are not aware of that or do not know that they have that sort of support system on a local context. And I really wanted to make sure that that was something that people were aware of, as well as we have an LGBTQIA liaison to the police department. And I think it's really important that Commander Baker be there to be able to put a face to the community and ensure that folks understand that he is a resource. And so those were kind of the two bigger things I was going to do: intro to the commission, and then like very kind of local context of what your rights are, what your protections are, what your support systems and resources are. And then obviously allowing for like questions from the audience. Lenny, you had a great idea before about like if people register, they sign in, they kind of put a question there. I thought that made the most sense to make sure that we can ensure that like questions make sense for the commission. And if anything wouldn't make sense, like somebody was asking about healthcare, it would be easy for me to take charge and go, actually, that's something that the county oversees more of. You know what I mean? So happy to take comment or other thoughts or, you know, kind of a brainstorming minute. But yeah, that was the baseline of it.
Adriana, I think it would be good to just give us all the opportunity to give you feedback through email also. That might be, so we could just build
Absolutely.
on that. And
Absolutely. And I hope this works for everybody. I was going to take some time in the next 2 or 3 weeks to meet with each commissioner individually, even if it's just, you know, 15, 20 minutes of us talking about anything related to the town hall that they want to talk about, as well as if they have any ideas related to the town hall, just to make sure that folks are getting a moment to feel like they can be included and ask any questions they might not want to ask during the monthly meeting.
will there be any invitations to the mayor or city council or Latasha Mays, I mean, our local government and state government? How far should we go?
Yeah, so this all came together kind of permanently late last week. I did put it on the mayor's calendar and said that I would really love for him to be there. He will be able to be there for at least a half hour from 5 to 5:30. I would love for him to either give welcoming remarks or, you know, something to say, you know, it's really important that not only the commission exists, but that folks are listening to it and taking recommendations, and the importance of listening to the LGBTQIA community at this moment. I have not been able to connect with Barb's office as much to talk about the city council side, but I'm more than happy to reach out through email, and we can talk through that to see if there should be, you know, obviously I would hope that Barb can be there, but you know, if other city council folks want to be there, I'm also happy to encourage them.
It's one of my kids' birthdays, so I will maybe just maybe I'll try and come for a bit, but I'm guessing I'm gonna
I'm
have
so sorry, Barb.
my house that night. Well, I don't know. I haven't even thought about it, but yeah.
No, makes total sense. That's a very good excuse. Honestly, I can't argue with that whatsoever. But yes, I will reach out. We all just have the party there.
I know Erica would come if she's available. She's always been a big supporter, but obviously a blanket invitation to all city council would be really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, more than happy to do that. On the other side of Rep Mays and other folks, more than happy to extend an invitation to Rep Mays. I think that makes total sense. As well as our other representatives. I also was going to inform.
Dan Frankel, of course, would be important. Dan Frankel, since he's been heading the equal protection for our community for many, many years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again,
what I would say is, you know, the real thought process is as we get closer to finalization is to have, you know, a flyer or something very shareable, and then also to have something like a personalized message of like, hey, like you're really important to the community in one way or another, and we'd really love you to be able to make this. So I'm more than happy to kind of curate that on the back end and, you know, reach out to each of you to talk through any details. Also, if there's anybody you want to invite, I trust you as commissioners that if you think that they're important to the community, that if you want to invite them, you should be inviting them. This is something that I want to make sure is really open to any and all of our community members. So whether they're super important to our community or they're just somebody that has never been to any of this before and wants to learn more about their rights and their protections, I want them to kind of get the invite. Yes, Alexander.
Yeah, just in terms of capacity of True Tea, I've been to that space before and I loved it. But Julian, do you happen to know like what the capacity is for that venue?
Yeah, so we have what 40 seats
Okay.
upstairs, and then Adriana and I were talking about also if we can figure out the projection situation. There's also additional seats downstairs, but we're not expecting, I don't think, more than 40 people to attend, if I'm correct.
We would love more, but to be realistic, we have no idea how much demand there is going to be, and we haven't done one of these town halls before, so it's hard to kind of, it's hard to figure out exactly what the average is going to be. I hope it's 50 or 60 people, but
Right.
also about that, we're going to be able to have, I'm going to invite, I have to work with City Channel in the back end, but I'm going to invite them to come and stream it so that it will be accessible to folks even if they are not physically in the room with us. So people would be able to watch the way they would be able to watch one of our commission meetings on YouTube. Before I forget about it, I also want to go back to this really quickly. I'm also going to reach out to Ashley Strange, Maria Montano about the governor's LGBTQIA commission, and just to let them know that this is happening. If any of them would like to attend, I'm more than happy to have them. But just because we were talking about representatives and other folks, I wanted to make sure that I named them as well. Any other questions regarding the event? Also, there is a food budget. Just to be clear, I'm going to be able to order food. But yes, Richard, I think I saw you.
Would there be any anticipation of having the media there, or do we want to be mindful of people's privacy?
That's a good question. I haven't thought. Let me say this. Thought a little bit into this. I haven't had a whole conversation with the communications team yet, so I want to say something for sure. I would love like Qberg, for instance, to be there. It makes sense for them to be there. I don't know if I should extend media more than that, but when we're doing LGBTQIA commission town halls that are very specific to our community and is very local, it makes sense for the local LGBTQ newspaper to be there to be able to cover it. As well as, we'd have City Channel to stream it, which is really important. But, other media, I'm more than happy to talk to the comms team and just kind of get their take on like what they think is going to be appropriate and doable. Because I don't want it to be like a ton of cameras in front of commissioners that are like taking up space from community members being able to talk to them and kind of connect with them, if that makes sense. But yeah, more happy to look into that more and then get back about what we can do to kind of make sure that we're getting good coverage on the work that's being done here. Are there any other questions? I will also give this update in an email. I will make sure that we have some space to individually talk either through email or on a call in the coming weeks about this. I also was going to say that I am probably going to do like a walkthrough the week of the 20th. I haven't picked a specific day for that yet. I also would invite any commissioner that has either not been in True Tea before or just wants to get an idea of the space or talk through anything last minute. I extend that invitation to them to also come with me then. All good? Wonderful. So next up, we have new logos for the commission. Have people been able to look at the logos by any chance? If not, I will pull them up. Just give me a moment.
Yes, I like the second one. That's my take.
Cool. This is a hard thing. Usually we're voting on like an individual thing, so it feels like we have to vote on each individual design separately, if that makes sense, because I don't know how else to get us to like vote for it. Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen. All right. Can everyone see the giant rainbow bridge? Wonderful. All right. Let me just make sure this is. So this is one idea for our commission meeting based off of the Smithfield Bridge. Has all of the colors of like the most recent pride flag in it. I'm happy to take a vote on whether or not, if there is a, I guess, yeah. If anybody wants.
Can we see the
to make a motion regarding this? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think through the best way to do this. If anybody wants to make a motion regarding this specific logo.
Could I make a comment?
Yes, please.
I'm sort of uncomfortable seeing all those X's on there as representing, I know the structure of the trusses, but it just makes it feel uninviting in some way.
I hear you there, and I didn't think of it that way, but I can totally understand from that perspective, Richard. And
I mean,
makes
there's
sense.
another way I think of doing it that could be parallel or something else, but just the X. And the top part looks like a bed frame also.
Honestly, I have really been, I did not design this, so I take no offense to this whatsoever. But I have really struggled with making it not look like a fence post. Because like I saw a version of it elsewhere where it was more infinity signy, the way that the actual bridge is.
Yeah.
And it kind of had like a better flow and it looked more bridgy. And this one has really been, I've been like, it looks like a fence post to me half the time. Anyway. But I don't have a vote here. So I just wanted to open it up for comments, concerns, design flaws, et cetera, in case anybody, but also if this is not the one we want to go to the next logo, that's totally fine.
Well, can we see the options before like we decide what's our favorite? So
absolutely. Let me go. Can everyone see the second logo? This is the second idea. Still kind of going with that bridge theme. I know Sarah commented about how the LGBTQIA Commission for the Governor is like in a keystone, which is really great. Obviously, we can't steal this keystone, and I wanted it to be somewhat Pittsburghy, but it's pretty, it's a hard one. So also happy to take design ideas on any of this. And then please go ahead.
I like this one the most of the three, but it pains me because I love the Smithfield Street Bridge. I think it's so unique to Pittsburgh. This one just, it reminds me so much of the Liberty Bridge, but the Liberty Bridge isn't gold. So it's sort of like it loses that specificity, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm wondering, is there a way that you could work it with like one of the three sisters? Because those are like so iconic to Pittsburgh. Like every time there's a sports game, they pop up. They do have that gold color. But this is my pick out of the three.
I could try something with that. Like, are you thinking like the same logo, but with one of the sisters outlines like yellow?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Because honestly, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
What about the same span, because that's what the Sisters Bridge looks like, but just flipped over? What if it were at the bottom an LGBT commission and the logo were in between the spans?
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you like. Literally flip the whole thing and have the commission's title on the bottom, the bridge, and then the logo in the middle, in between the bridge. Okay, I see what you mean.
I would also put like the yellow of the bridge. I would put the same black outline that's on the letters on the bits of the bridge, just to make it pop a little more.
Absolutely.
Seal and bridge, black outline.
And we have to remember how this is going to look on a tablecloth.
Yeah. That is true. We've contextually, we have been talking about getting a black tablecloth. It doesn't have to be a black tablecloth, but that is what we have talked about before. So the black outlining might look kind of, it's fine. I can definitely go back talk about getting a more refined idea, which I'm very happy we're coming much closer to some sort of specific logo for the commission. Because if we're going to have it for a long time, we might as well like it. And I don't think that'll be difficult, especially because we're almost there anyway. Any other ideas related to the logo?
Also, I just really appreciate this. Designing the logo is extremely hard. It is not easy to do. So
honestly, the comms team is really tired of hearing from me, I'm sure. Because I'm like, hey, I really want a bunch of different logos. Here's a bunch of ideas. If you can make them happen, that would be great. So yeah, I don't think that's too bad, especially because I was not as specific, and I feel like this is super specific, and so it shouldn't be as difficult. Hopefully. And so I'm happy to put a pin in that to bring back, these design ideas. And then next meeting, I will send it out beforehand. We will be able to have more of a conversation about it. And if we feel like we've come to a good place, we can vote on if it's going to be the official logo of the commission. Oh, please, Richard.
So I sort of miss seeing the word the City of Pittsburgh LGBTQI plus Commission as the title. I like the logo, but it's sort of, if people don't see it, that logo, they don't know what the commission, we don't know that the commission is part of the city. And I think that needs to be emphasized in some way in the title.
I see there. It is in the seal, and
I know, but it's still small.
All right. Okay. Let me think about
It's
that
just
one.
a thought. I would like to see a version of that. When we did the one that I sent you for the advisory council, that was very plain and graphically that it was part of the city.
Okay, cool. I will talk to them about how we can, either in the title or in some design way, emphasize the fact that it's the city's commission.
And obviously I don't want it to get too busy, but I think it's important because, if we're going to be at Pride, people are going to walk by, they're going to see it fast. The logo, you may not see it even if it's, at a larger scale, but I still want it to be popped that we are part of the city's, one of the city's commissions. So
I understand that. Yeah, absolutely. I do want to ask a really quick question. So, I can definitely ask for like that design that we just talked about with both versions of the title and see how we feel about it, or like a few versions of the title and see how that goes. Do we feel good about rainbow lettering? Just to be clear about that, and just keeping it a yellow or golden bridge. Are we okay with that overall? I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't any. Okay, cool. Great. All right, I'll go back. I'll ensure that we incorporate all of that. We can cut the Smithfield Bridge X's and trusses and all of that out of it, and we'll try to kind of redo the design with the Sisters Bridge outline. Any other comments or concerns regarding the logo? Great. So up next, we are talking about the unisex restroom recommendations. So the internship that was related to this, that would have been gathering data within DPW about the restrooms throughout the city and what kind of restrooms they are and how impactful this recommendation would be, that is being pushed back, just based off of bureaucracy stuff, is being pushed back to May. So I just need to contact DPW and talk more with them about what we can do in the meantime to start moving on that recommendation. But as I was thinking about this more, and I will reach out to Barb's office also about this. As I was thinking about it more, the recommendation that came from the last meeting regarding new construction honestly might be easier to move on, or to actually have some action behind, rather than finding all of the data and the information. Not that we're not going to do that, because we are still going to do the single stall bathroom recommendation. But, that takes data to understand exactly the impact that it's going to have. Meanwhile, asking that new facilities that are being built or renovated have some sort of unisex facility, or, family restroom, or whatever we want to call it, available, is going to have not the same price tag attached to it immediately. And so I want to make sure that I'm connecting with Barb and talking more about like what we can do in the following weeks and months about it. But I just wanted to say that, you know, both of those things are in my forefront or in my priority. I want to make sure that we're moving on them. The internship pushes that back a little bit, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to get that data soon. Any questions or comments regarding bathroom recommendations? Yes.
This could be a question for Barb. Because of the change of the federal administration and all of the DEI takeaways, will this affect any construction that includes federal funding? Will they start saying something, we cannot do certain things in that regard?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, even if there were, I feel like, so is the concern that like if we legislate it, then it becomes like it's been underlined as opposed to we just be like, oh, we're just doing some bathrooms and we like do the bathrooms the way they need to be done.
It's just the way they're going after all this language and sort of
Yeah. No, I get it.
tracing everything we're about. And I know the mayor is very adamant about protecting the city and the community. But I just want to make sure that we're not we're not proposing a legislation that in the future is going to cause some litigation and problems with the city.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You know, let me bring that up with the director, the DPW director, just to get his thoughts. Yeah. On like how, you know, like, right, like we could just do bathrooms that, you know, work for everyone, as opposed to like,
a language that has to be said that doesn't hint at.
I mean, it's always like the, you know, the sort of advocacy versus the actual implementation of the thing that you need, you know? Yeah. No, I'll have a conversation. It's an interesting question. Like, how much does Pittsburgh want to be like, hey, screw you, Donald Trump? You know what I mean? Like, we're doing what Pittsburgh does versus like, you know, and I don't, you know, we haven't really come up against that yet. So yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Hey, I need to run. I gotta get to a meeting at 6:30.
All good. Thank you so much, Barb.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.
Have a good day. Richard, thank you for your question. Any other questions regarding the restroom facility related recommendations? Great. The other two of the unfinished business items, they're just updates. I just don't want them to fall through the cracks. First one is SOGI training. I have a meeting set up with HR next week in which we're going to be discussing what our options are, both like money and training wise, for getting SOGI training for HR. You know, there's a lot related to the process of getting folks like officially certified and trained, and we just want to make sure that we have all of the resources and the understanding behind that. So that meeting is happening next week, and I'll be able to give you an update on that shortly. Next up is the sex worker ordinance that came out of Barb's office. I reached out so just to refresh everybody, last month we talked about having them come and present this month. I did reach out to them. I haven't heard back from them yet. We did have a meeting a few months ago in which they presented all the info to me, so I'm hopeful that maybe I just fell into the bottom of their inbox. So I'll be following up with them, but just wanted to let you know that they weren't able to come this month, but I'm hopeful they'll be able to come either next month or in a meeting soon. And then we can move on to new business. The October Outfest Planning Committee, I have created an internal planning committee for Outfest. It is every commissioner, obviously, as well as a few of our folks from Neighborhood Services, our communication team, as well as Dina Stanley, because obviously she conducts Pride. It would be insane not to have her as a part of the planning committee. I am going to be sending out invitations for like a standing bi-weekly meeting related to Outfest. because it might not always work for folks' schedule, and that is totally fine. If you cannot make it for some reason, that is all right. We have several months to do this. You know for a fact you're never going to be able to make that meeting. Raise that to me and I will absolutely change it. But just because there's roughly 10 to 15 people that we're all trying to think about the schedules for the coming months, really doesn't make sense for me to say, hey, we're going to have this bi-weekly meeting and every single person needs to find time in their schedule to do it. It's realistic that you might have to miss a meeting and that is okay. I will continue to send out updates and make sure that everybody is informed on what's going on. But it's going to take a village. So I just want to make sure everybody is well informed on that and is able to show up as much as they think is, realistic to them as well. Any questions regarding that? Also, if when we're in those meetings and you feel like there's somebody that could be really helpful to planning and they should be involved, please let me know. But at this time, it just made sense to have some folks internally, like in the mayor's office and comms and stuff, the commission, and then obviously Dina, because she does all of that planning with our community anyway. Moving on, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and it's related to our town hall. It's kind of a separate item. It's kind of related at the same time. I talked to Julian about this, and I'm hopeful that y'all are interested in this. But we have a budget for printing. We have a budget for printing. We can make materials. We are out of our pamphlets, which is good, which is great, honestly. We've had those pamphlets for a long time. A lot of them were dated, and they're now in the community, which is wonderful. Instead of, and it's not to say that we can't make more pamphlets, because we definitely can. And instead of immediately going into making new pamphlets, I was thinking, related to the town hall coming up, that it would make sense for us to have something printable and physical for people to leave with that would be helpful to them in some way or another. And an idea that came from that national equity practitioner meeting that I have is know your rights cards, which they already have for immigrants and refugees when like ICE knocks on your door, like what your rights are, whether or not you need to talk to them, how to get in contact with legal aid, that kind of stuff. I would love to do that on a local, like what are your rights in Pittsburgh, related to them being able to get support if they're being discriminated against based off of their gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, go through CHR, make sure that information is on there, as well as like information about how to contact Commander Baker. Obviously, the commission logo would also be on there, so they would understand that like this is coming from the city's commission. I'm more than happy to like include the city's, the commission's like website link on that as well. But I wanted to see more of like, is this something that the commission would be interested in doing? If so, I'm more than happy to like mock up a copy. But we have about a month until the town hall. So I wanted to make sure that like, if we vote on a yes, we're going to make these cards, I can also like make sure you guys are getting updated and that everybody is informed on what the cards look like. But I just wanted to kind of put that as a new item. So we can have discussion and a vote regarding that if anybody's interested.
I know that right now, since I work at a law school, there's a lot of advocacy work right now on this, like the KYRR, Know Your Rights sort of thing. If I can tap anyone at the law school in that regard to get either them to review whatever we come up with or what have you, I would be more than happy to do that. Yeah.
No, thank you, Alexander. Actually, because you were voted in as outreach coordinator, this was going to be one of those items that I was going to be talking with you more about anyway, because it's regarding our upcoming town hall. So I would be more than happy to lean on you and getting some support there. Lenny, I saw you on mute if you have any questions or.
I also think we should have voter registration information. I have a lot of people that are new to Pittsburgh that come to my store and I give them a little lowdown. I have some of the pamphlets here, but that is unfortunately not part of the pamphlet. Obviously, it's not partisan. It's just general information.
Yeah, no problem with that. Okay, absolutely. Lenny?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Does anybody have any other comments or concerns or thoughts on the idea of doing like a know your rights card for the commission?
I have
All I was gonna, oh, sorry.
all right, go ahead.
All I was gonna say is, yeah, anything related to this, because I mean, that's literally what the Commission on Human Relations does and enforces. So anything related to that, like, let me know if you want help with the language. I don't believe we have anything specifically related to our LGBTQ connections. We might just have like an online QR code, like pamphlet
Yeah.
that just lists what the like gender identity, expression, sexual orientation are protected in everything in city code. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Kevin, as I've been talking about this town hall, I would love, just because you are our kind of rep from CHR, if during the town hall you're able to talk more about that, exactly, kind of like what CHR's responsibilities are and
Yeah.
how they uphold those rights. It's actually very funny. It is from your own little know your rights, like
Pamphlets.
PGH.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is such a great idea. Like I should just make this for
Yeah, they've been
specifically
very
LGBTQIA
helpful.
folks.
Yeah, they've been very helpful because we'll do trainings with employers or different things like that. And just having that for people, it's very tangible and, lays it out pretty easily.
Exactly.
I will say the only thing that's like, well, I don't know how we're going to move forward to it. There's been a open discussion in our office. So like they recently changed with EEOC the language with filing a transgendered complaint. It used to be gender identity and expression, which fall under sex under federal statute. But I filed complaints with EEOC and I saw that they now changed it to transgendered status, which is a very kind of peculiar way to phrase it. So our office has been debating if we are going to federally dual file complaints that deal with gender identity and expression, because it almost felt like a red dot next to the complaint, the transgendered
Yeah.
status, which is very, I don't know, it just gave us a weird feeling. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I
Yeah.
didn't know about that. Yeah, maybe if you could just keep me updated on how you guys kind of move forward on that, that would be great.
Yeah, we're still in debate if we're going to they'd still be protected under city code and such, but there can be more benefits if we file with the EOC, but I don't know. We've been wanting to discuss with the state commission if they are going to like change any way that they file federally with those complaints.
Okay. Yeah, just keep me updated. I can also reach out to you individually and we can talk more about that or any of the impact that might have. But yeah, so I would, obviously love the help of the commissioners to make sure that everybody feels good about like the final design and the content of these cards. But do we have a motion to like approve making the Know Your Rights cards for the commission?
I motion that the creation of a marketing material for the commission.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Wonderful. Great. Okay.
Well, I will advocate, because Guillermo's not here, that he would say that he would like a Spanish translation.
I am already ahead of him and have.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, it was literally a thought in my mind where I was like, if we're making these cards, they can't just be in English. I'm going to go to our Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs that deals with all of our language access. And at the very least, I'd like to ask them like what are the few most common languages they could easily translate it into, but also like this is something very well incorporated into the emails that I'm happy to have. Like if commissioners like, I definitely want it to be in a specific language. Like I'm not going to argue with any of that. Even if it's like we only have 20 of them in that specific language, just because it's not as many folks, that's okay. We can work through that. Yes, Richard.
So what it could possibly be would be whatever card it is, one side is English, the other side is Spanish.
Oh yeah, that's super.
Just easy enough to do it that way.
Yeah. I also was gonna say that I think it makes sense that even if we have printed cards, that we also upload whatever the PDF or image is to our website in case people wanted to print it out on their own. So I didn't think anybody was going to have any issue with that. I just wanted to throw that around as a thing as well. But yeah, I think that makes sense to just do a bilingual card. Any other comments or thoughts related to the cards before we move on? Great. Does anybody have any other items of new business? Seeing none, does anyone have any announcements? Seeing none. Oh, you made me wait. You made me wait. Go ahead.
But we have True to EDU that's going to be releasing in March, and that's our partnership with Google and the Grow with Google program. But they give us $500 scholarship, so each one is worth $500 for people to take IT classes and things like that. So there's like a programming, there's a data collection, all sorts of stuff. But so the marketing materials and all of that information will be available soon. But I just wanted to let the community know. I just want to let the community know that True to EDU will be out soon. So.
Very cool. Thank you, Julian. Alexander.
Yes, so I am helping organize a fundraising event for History Unerased. History Unerased basically has a curriculum that they are trying to get into more K through 12 schools about LGBTQIA history, including folks like Bayard Rustin, all the goodies, all the oldies and goodies. That is taking place on April 5th. I would love to send out the little flyer that we have made up to everyone on the commission, if that is okay. I just feel like right now there's so much queer erasure going on, especially at historical sites like Stonewall. It's just very important. So I will share that out if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for reference, I feel like, as I said earlier with the town hall, like I trust you all as commissioners that if you think there's something super important happening in the community and you want to share it with the other commissioners, like you don't have to go through me. You could definitely just share it in the email with all of us. And I trust you that you're sharing stuff that's going to be important to all of us in one way or another. Lenny, please go ahead.
Thanks, Adriana. I just wanted to let everybody know that the Queer Equity Committee for the Pittsburgh Public Schools met yesterday, and we discussed all of the things that we're facing with all these executive orders and all the DEI insanity. And our policy is that we're standing by our policies. So our gender expansive policies and all our other student protections are in place, and we have no plans to make any changes. So it's an important update.
Lenny, did you get any feedback from the students on that?
We hear a lot from kids that are scared and upset and feel targeted. It was good to have that meeting and know that we can now reassure them that they're going to enjoy the same protections at schools that they have been. Yeah, I mean, they're as scared and as upset as everybody, even more so. I mean, they're directly in the line of fire. It's awful.
Lenny, I really appreciate that update, and I can't imagine none of these conversations are easy to be having, and I'm very happy to hear that y'all are standing strong by the students and by your policies and the work you've been doing to ensure people feel included and feel safe. So, as always, if there's anything we can do to continue to support PPS and the work y'all are doing, please let me know. Are there any other announcements?
Just
yes,
really
Richard.
I am co-chairing the Planned Parenthood of Western Pennsylvania fundraiser in June. So if anybody is interested about the information, I cannot discuss it publicly other than just say that. But it's our signature fundraiser. And if people know what Planned Parenthood does, we also offer gender affirming care within that organization. So a very important aspect for our community to know.
Wonderful. that's really wonderful, and I'm happy to hear that work's going on. And I encourage anybody, if they're interested in getting involved, to reach out to Richard and to get more information regarding that event. Any other announcements before we motion to adjourn? All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Have a wonderful month, everybody. I'll be reaching out to you.